Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Back in 1994, Zenith of Lug decided to recommit to luxury watchmaking under its own nameplate with the Chronomaster series. COSC certified as chronometers, the Chronomaster series was far-ranging, but the flagship, a triple calendar Moonphase chronograph. Through the 1990s and early 2000s, these were the standard bearers for one of the great integrated manufacturers of history as well as the present day. So this is the Zenith El Primero Chronomaster, 40 millimeters in diameter in rose gold, 13.1 millimeters thick, and a nice compact 46.5 millimeters lug-to-lug with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. It fits beautifully. This watch will fit a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, and though I'm pulling the strap fairly tight, you can see I have quite a bit of clearance on each side still. The lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist, as you can see down the barrel just like this. Cuff shot. It's not a super thin watch, but nor is it thick, and with that domed and sloped case flank, it will slide under a dress cuff, and it is a dress watch. Taking a look at the strap, it's incredibly luxurious. It will soften up, but starting with a large rectangular scale, symmetrical scale alligator indicates that Zenith spent real money here. This is an expensive cut of leather. Dark brown, you can see it's got a semi-gloss finish, a sheer cut side, a monotone stitch, calfskin on the bottom, and it is a brand new uncrimped, ungouged Zenith factory strap. We have a matching rose gold Zenith pin buckle. You can see the late 90s Zenith logo on the buckle. You can see Cornu was the manufacturer of the buckle. You know that because unrock is Cornu backwards. Taking a quick look, you can also see that the watch features the same 90s era Zenith Star logo on the crown, and we have a lovely and frankly minimally worn case that has maybe even a little bit of Boscoriale tarnish on it from being unworn over the long term. You always like to see that on a gold watch. It means it's very virgin metal. We have everything in high polish. We have a triple gadroon case flank with 1, 2, 3 domed strakes, and then we have fluting on the lug profiles, calendar correctors for features like the day and the Moonphase. The quick set is used to set the date and the month. We have rectangular vintage-inspired chronograph pushers. They're actually elongated ovals, and then a generously and dramatically boxed and cambered sapphire to look a little bit like a vintage plexi, but also because that type of sapphire just looks expensive. You can also see the stack of the hands and chronograph seconds, necessitating a vaulted crystal. We have a couple of different guilloche cuts on this dial, though given the price point of the watch, these were probably stamped guilloche features. We have a sort of curtain down the center and then a dental pattern outboard, but inboard of the dial side tachymeter, a mid-20th century feature characteristic of 30s, 40s, and 50s chronographs before tachymeters moved to the bezels. You can use that tachymeter along with the chronograph to gauge the speed of an object, such as a race car over a kilometer. That's the most commonly given application for a tachymeter. We have rose gold hands. You can see Dauphin hands faceted down their center for better contrast. We also have rose gold indices and Roman numerals applied rather than printed features, an upscale look. A little rosette for the running seconds, Moonphase and chrono hours, and the chrono minutes. And then you can see El Primero Chronomaster. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. All of the calendar discs, you'll note, are on frosted silver metallic bases. So a lot of handsome detail here. You can also see that several different finishes, including the guilloche stamp, opaline frosted, and then the dental pattern have been applied. We even have a concentric brushed metallic on each of the scales for the sub-registers. You'll also note, we'll watch this happen right here, the El Primero is a premium chronograph and a point of reference even today in the industry. You can see semi-instantaneous jumping minutes on the reverse side of the watch, caliber 410Z. So this is probably a watch made between 1998 and about 2002-ish. That's the period during which you had the 410Z and the chronometer certification. So you can see that with Zenith references, the movement is usually in the reference for the watch. So there's 410 right there, and then there's 410 on the bridge. The El Primero bowed back in 1969 as one of the first automatic chronos ever made, but definitively the first automatic integrated high beat chrono. Now this is a column wheel, lateral clutch, It beats away at 10 beats per second, 5 hertz, or 36,000 vibrations per hour, so it has a faster heartbeat against the ear, and when you look at the chronoseconds hand, you can see it's a much smoother sweep than a conventional 4 hertz chronograph. Because it is a lateral clutch and a column wheel, we have a very crisp column wheel feel with this movement. Column wheel, the premium way to make a chronograph function selector. Then we have a very traditional lateral clutch, and if we get close enough, you can actually see that the intermediate driving wheel and the driving wheel off the fourth wheel of the movement, they actually have different tooth profiles, and that's characteristic of most chronographs. Bidirectional winding, 50-hour power reserve, 31 pivotjoules. You see, this one has a serial number on it because you need a serial number in order to get a Swiss COSC chronometer certification, which this watch has. Although a mix of manual and machine finishing, the execution is beautiful and the details are pleasing. Remember, this was a flagship for one of the great brands in watchmaking in its day. All that's water resistant to 30 meters, so don't go swimming with it, but for almost every other occasion, what a companion. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.